Career Day last year. Elaine Hartzell came as a Hershey's taste tester. Well, I told Hershey about that. Seeing the way that Hershey's had made the dream come true has just really been exciting.
Colbert's New with Josh Brolin plus Amanda Gorman tonight on CBS.
New CBS this Friday. I promise you I will catch him.
I'm a fella. Maybe I'm not fit to be anything else.
Right now, you're a firefighter.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. New episodes of SWAT, Fire Country, and Blue Bloods. Friday starting at 8/7 Central on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Finally, winter. I'll tell you about the snow, wind gusts, and travel conditions for the next 24 hours. Live from downtown Marquette, it's your 19 News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sarah Blakely. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, Michigan's presidential primary election day comes to a close. We have the results in the presidential primary as well as some local ballot measures around the UP. Plus, President Biden meets with congressional leaders today in a high-stakes meeting about a spending bill ahead of the Friday deadline. We'll have the latest from Washington. And a new mental health initiative in Dickinson County. How you can participate in a mental health day this week. Your 19 News starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
That snow is starting to move in and temperatures are dropping. Air, what's the status on those winter weather advisories right now?
Oh my goodness. Well, they're continuing into our Wednesday. Taking a look at Husky Plaza, though, out in Houghton there, courtesy of Michigan Tech. As you can see, these red lines here mean that winter weather is going to really start picking up the past couple of hours. That's where it's headed. And then we have a mix down here. So if you like colorful maps, here you go. We've got winter mixes on the way. We could see sleet, freezing rain, as well as those snow showers, and we'll see up to about 5 inches, maybe 8 in Whitefish Point. I'll go over the timings for these coming up after the break, and those winds still rocking and pushing in. They're going to get a lot gustier tomorrow. I'll time that out for you again after the break.
Former President Donald Trump and his one-time ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, battled it out in Michigan's Republican presidential primary today. The polls have closed, and CBS News projects Trump has won the has won the primary. Skylar Henry has more.
CBS News projects former President Donald Trump has defeated Nikki Haley in Michigan's Republican primary, bringing him closer to securing the GOP nomination for president. The contest in the Wolverine state comes a week before more than a dozen states go to the polls on Super Tuesday. Earlier, at a campaign stop in Colorado, supporters urged Haley to stay in the race despite the odds.
All right, y'all, I'm still standing here.
At her polling place, Teresita Fox said she's backing Trump.
The best is to make us safe, especially in our neighborhood. Wherever you live, you know, it's chaos.
On the Democratic side, Michigan's primary presents a key political test for the Biden campaign. The state has the largest concentration of Arab Americans in the country, many angry about the president's position on the war in Gaza.
We want to pressure him to call for an immediate and permanent ceasefire.
This Dearborn resident said she would vote uncommitted as a protest against candidates on the ballot.
When it comes down to, you know, like what the choice is in November, I think they'll choose to vote for democracy.
In 2016, Donald Trump became the first Republican to carry Michigan in the general election since 1988. Joe Biden reclaimed the state for Democrats in 2020, helping him defeat Trump.
CBS News also projects President Joe Biden will win the Democratic primary in Michigan as well. Meanwhile, we are still waiting on results for local ballot measures across the UP. County clerks are working diligently to get those updated right now. But let's take a look at some of those local ballot measures that we're keeping an eye on tonight. Alger County voters decided on an ambulance millage renewal of 1.85 mils for 5 years. Over in Dickinson and Iron counties, voters decided on an operating millage renewal for the Dickinson Iron District Health Department of 0.42 mils for 4 years. Voters in both of those counties also decided on a millage proposal for the Dickinson Iron ISD of 0.5206 mils over 10 years to fund vocational technical education. And they also decided on a millage renewal for the Iron Mountain Schools Liaison Officer of 0.55 mils for 5 years. In Houghton County, Adams Township voters decided on an operating millage renewal for their schools of 19.2133 mils for 9 years. Iron County voters also decided on a millage proposal for Iron County Central Dispatch to continue 911 services. That was at 0.25 mils for 4 years. In Marquette County, Ishpeming Public Schools asked for a sinking fund proposal of 2.421 mils for 10 years. North Central Schools in Menominee County asked for an operating millage renewal of 18.883 mils for 4 years. And Ontonagon area schools asked voters to pass an operating millage renewal of 19.0322 mils for 8 years. You can view all of the election results for local ballot measures at WZMQ19.com. We are expecting that more of those results will be coming in the next few hours and also into tomorrow morning. Poll workers around the state are counting votes. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy has more from Detroit, where the Secretary of State discussed the turnout around the state.
The polls have been closed for a few hours now, but election officials are saying it could be a late night here in Detroit as the vote is counted. Clerks are still working on official turnout numbers, but Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson says nearly 2,000 voters registered to vote in person today. Benson explained that absentee ballots received before the election could be counted early, meaning in some areas the tabulating process could go faster, but that safety and security was the top priority while election officials get to work. As precincts across the state count their votes, Benson emphasized the excitement and enthusiasm she saw from voters and election workers today, saying that it's just the beginning of the 2024 presidential election cycle here in Michigan.
We've got several months ahead, and they are going to be noisy ones. This will undoubtedly be a defining year for our state and our country. We in Michigan know that our votes will be impactful not just in our state, but nationwide. And I believe the votes of Michiganders cast throughout this year, and particularly in November, will define the future of our country.
Secretary Benson says there's still a lot of work to be done tonight. And of course, military and overseas ballots still have 6 days to be counted, so long as they're postmarked before 8 p.m. tonight. From Detroit, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
Today in Washington, the president and vice president met with leaders of Congress just 4 days ahead of a deadline to avoid a partial government shutdown. According to President Biden during the afternoon meeting, Friday's deadline is urgent, but so is sending aid to Ukraine. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon has the details this evening.
I want to thank the leadership being here today. We got a lot of work to do.
Today, a high-stakes meeting between President Joe Biden and leaders of Congress.
I think the consequences of inaction every day in Ukraine are dire.
The meeting to discuss the national security bill and a crucial government funding deadline was productive, according to leaders, but also intense.
The meeting on Ukraine was one of the most intense I have ever encountered in my many meetings in the Oval Office.
The House has yet to take up the Senate's $95 billion national security bill, which includes $60 billion to assist Ukraine.
We said to the Speaker, get it done. It's in his hands.
It was frank and honest. I think we need more frank and honest conversations on Capitol Hill.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says his goal heading into the meeting was to prioritize America's needs.
When you talk about America's needs, you have to talk first about our open border. I believe the president can take executive authority right now today to change that. It's time for action. It is a catastrophe, and it must stop.
In the meeting, leaders expressed cautious optimism about avoiding a partial government shutdown. But many conservative House members are calling on Speaker Johnson to hold out for more spending cuts, which could cause a shutdown. Pressure from Democrats to keep the government open is also mounting as the clock ticks closer toward Friday's deadline.
Unfortunately, we've had a lot of challenges with the new speaker. He doesn't seem to have his sea legs yet. He's been unable to govern and get votes on the simplest things, even though they're widely bipartisan in the Senate, such as the national security bill we passed.
Reporting in Washington, Brendan Scanlon, WZMQ 19 News.
Your first warning weather forecast is coming up after this break, plus providing more mental health resources in Dickinson County. How a clinic is hoping people will participate in a mental health day this week. And Lumberjacks in Love, a preview of the comedy stage musical coming to Escanaba this weekend. We're back in just 2 minutes.
"19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
The wait is over. England Furniture's quick shipping is back at Kirkish Furniture. Choose your style and fabric and receive your furniture in as little as 30 days. Browse our in-stock selection or let our staff help you customize the perfect sofa or chair. Plus 1 year free financing and free delivery.
Get ready for a brand new season of Collector's Call with all new collections.
Collector's Call, Sundays at 6:30. On MeTV 19.1.
John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to get their car fixed. John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to fix their car. Was that right? For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market. Why do I keep forgetting that word? Experience. Okay, go. 3, 2. For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market.
And don't forget, we're our
Baraga County Memorial Hospital, continually striving to improve the well-being of our community. Care is not just a service, it's a way of life. February is Heart Month, and BCMH is excited to welcome renowned local cardiologist Dr. Vakivagis from the Keweenaw. We're currently booking cardiology appointments and accepting new patients. Baraga County Memorial Hospital, our family caring for your family.
The Emmy-nominated Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Weeknights on CBS.
I didn't know it would feel this good.
Who'll be there when amazing rises up or need for a warning comes falling down? Will you start a career in the broadcasting industry? Be there. Go to BeThereMichigan.com.
Now, WZMQ 19 News First Warning Weather with Ariane Stasek.
Woo, February, we are ending with a bang. We've got flood advisories basically way up there in the Keweenaw and then Marquette and Elger counties going into Wednesday for the majority of us, although this one over here for Elger and Schoolcraft counties, or excuse me, Luce County goes until early Thursday. Just a heads up in case you live along those lake shores, because we've got lots of activity coming off of the lake. We've got 40 to 45 mile an hour winds. We've got wind chills. We also have snow coming in 2 to 5 inches or even up to 8. I'll show you where in just a moment. Basically, this winter weather advisory over here on the northwest coast, that ends at 7 in the morning on Wednesday. You'll definitely want your hats like this if you've got one. And then Baraga and Marquette, this one ends in the afternoon. And again, we've got wind chills there. We could expect some icy conditions on those roads, maybe a little bit slushier over here for Schoolcraft and Luce counties, where we could have some sleet, freezing rain in the mix, and a light glaze of ice. Why not? 3 to 5 inches expected in these locations. That ends in the afternoon on Wednesday, again, also around 1 p.m. And then further east, Chippewa and Mackinac counties, this ends at 7 p.m. on Wednesday. As of right now, and like I mentioned, up to 8 inches possible there in Whitefish Point. Otherwise, 3 to 5 inches in those counties. So we've got a very colorful map. We've got some, looks like thunderstorms headed down in the mitten there. And then taking a look at when those snow showers are headed our way into Marquette around 11:57 this evening. And then looking at this rain mixture that's headed into the east, hitting McMillan around midnight. So make sure you are prepared for those conditions. And yes, it's International Polar Bear Day. If you didn't know, I don't know what that means exactly other than recognizing we've got polar bears. Our conditions this evening, 5 to 15 degrees. And then like I mentioned, we've got some wintry mixes. We could see up to 3 inches this evening, but again, those totals are going to be different tomorrow. Those winds still very gusty. And then some fun facts about polar bears. Their fur is not actually white. It's transparent and it's hollow. I know, who knew? All right, the snow outlook in the morning, close to 2.5 inches there, or a little bit over, I should say, in Ironwood. We'll have about 3 here in Marquette and close to 4 for Munising. And then by 9 a.m., almost 6 inches in Munising. This is where we're going to see the most amount of snow accumulations basically during this storm. And then those snow showers are going to continue into our Thursday, but it's not going to be as much snow as we're seeing right now. Winds right now still coming out of the north up to about 35, 40 miles an hour. And then on our Wednesday morning, look at this, 8 a.m., we're peaking close to 50 miles an hour for Marquette. Munising's also going to be very gusty, but the entire UP is going to see these windy conditions continuing. Let's take a quick look here at our 7-day for Marquette. We've got wind chills here down to -10. And then on leap day, yes, it's a leap year, friends, we've got windy conditions as well, gusts up to 20 miles an hour. Wind chills could be down to -10, and those temperatures rising up a little bit. Look at this Friday, we'll be around 50 degrees.
Contractors in the UP are being trained on installing energy-efficient heat pumps. At the end of the year, $211 million will be dispersed from the federal government in energy efficiency federal tax credits. In order to meet the expected demand for upgrades to heating and cooling systems, the Heat Pump Collaborative, started by the Upper Peninsula Power Company, or UPCO, is hosting a training summit for contractors. The training session will allow them to become certified in installation and maintenance of energy-efficient heat pumps.
Heat Pump Collaborative and the Heat Pump Summit this Thursday on February 29th is specifically to show those contractors and others that the technology works, and it's here, and it's been here for 10 to 15 years.
The summit will be in Marquette this Thursday. Registration information can be found at WZMQ19.com. A physical therapy clinic in downtown Iron Mountain is providing new mental health resources for the community. A physical therapist and a Dickinson County social worker collaborated to create a new local mental health day aimed at gathering more resources for suicide awareness. The event, held on Thursday, will become an annual event to provide support to those struggling with suicide and the families affected by it. The therapist initiated the event in honor of her sister, who died by suicide last year.
Time that our family spent trying to reach out to these resources was really hard. So after this event is over, we are going to have the resources on hand, specifically the flyer with the names and resources of people in town, and we'll have them in clinics.
Real Heal Physical Therapy Clinic is located at 333 South Stevenson Avenue in Iron Mountain. Today, Bay College hosted a career fair for those studying or working in a healthcare field. More than 25 organizations from across the UP and northeastern Wisconsin participated, including Aspirus Health, UP Health System Hospice, and the Iron County Medical Care Facility. Community members and students had the opportunity to speak with potential employers and to ask them questions about what they're looking for in a job.
The thing I'm looking for is like tuition reimbursement, bonuses that different employers are offering. The further I get in the education, this will get better and better. We'll have more opportunities to go work in places and use what we're learning.
Attendees also explored a wide range of in-demand careers like social work, medical coaching,